I'm your host, Nadine of 818 Events, and this is 818 and Conversate. Every episode is going to feel like a spontaneous road trip with your closest friends. Bring your luggage because we'll be unpacking everything. I'm going to be joined by an awesome passenger every now and then, and who knows, we might even pick up a hitchhiker along the way. Picture this, you're vibing, spilling the tea, storytelling, reminiscing, manifesting even. There might also be a little detour of controversy here and there, and we may even have to pump the brakes when shit gets too real. But it will always be a good-ass conversation and the road trip that you don't want to end. Episodes will drop the 8th and the 18th of every month, so in the spirit of a dope road trip, be sure to grab your travel snacks, crank up the volume, hop in the whip, and let's ride! All right, this is 818 and Conversate, and it is episode number 8, which I'm excited about because 8's my favorite number. And with me, I have Miguel Pink, a.k.a. Migz. He'll tell you all his other a.k.a.s.
AKAs.
Oh, my gosh. He's going to go ham. This episode is actually inspired by him. I've been waiting to get him on an episode, and we talked a little bit about you on the last episode. I didn't want to, reveal who I was going to be sitting down with because your story is really inspiring. We called this episode Me Versus Me, which is your whole, movement. So we'll get into that. But your story is really inspiring. So when we sat down for the last episode, it was Keith and I just reflecting on the show so far. And we were kind of thinking about how it ties into how far I've come so far in terms of this. And we needed to get you on the episode before you're on breakfast television at CP24. Then we got to schedule it. So thank you for being on. So introduce yourself.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. Like Nad said, I go by the name Migz Pink, a.k.a. Papi, a.k.a. Chocolate Thunder. No, I'm just playing.
When you see him on the road, just yell Chocolate Thunder at him. So let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about who you are and why I might have you sit down with me and what you do on a day to day, and then we'll talk more about the Me Versus Me.
I'm just
a regular guy. I knew you were a regular guy.
Just a regular guy, your friendly neighborhood Migz P. I'm out here, but
if you had to give yourself a role or a title, I know you have something on your Instagram that says you're a lifestyle coach, right? So explain a little bit about that and where that comes from.
Well, the title coach comes from my basketball background.
Okay.
I played basketball my whole life. I played sports my whole life with a focus on soccer and basketball.
Okay.
But later, past high school, I excelled in basketball, got a scholarship, played out in Halifax.
Oh,
and
East Coast.
East Coast lifestyle.
I know that when Cashmere's listening to this, she's going to be, Halifax, what? Nova Scotia?
So Halifax is kind of a little bit of home away from home just because I spent 5 years out there.
Okay.
So it was cool, and I got a lot of love out there. The basketball community is huge. It was a really dope experience. And just after university, I got into coaching.
Okay.
A lot of coaching kids. A lot of player development for youth. And coaching has always been kind of a passion, just helping guide people. So when I kind of transitioned into this, more of a healthy, active lifestyle, I thought coach would be a fitting title just because I'm more motivating. I'm more trying to guide people.
Inspire people too, yeah. So I guess then your origins with athleticism really go back to basketball. And, it's funny because I watched one of the clips that you guys posted, and it was about how much you hate running was kind of the intro to the video. So, let's talk about who you are now and what's kind of going on with you in terms of athleticism and fitness now. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, that clip, it relates to every basketball player out there.
Yeah. Nobody wants to do their sprints.
Nobody wants to do sprints. And in basketball practice, every basketball could relate. Your coach, when you're messing up in practice, you're gonna do suicides. You're gonna run. Nobody wants to run. If we get our cardio from scrimmaging, every basketball player says, "Yo, you know what? We're gonna scrimmage. That's how we're gonna run." So
no longevity in the running game.
Not at all. It was always a form of punishment, if you will. Right. And
so now fast forward to now, what does running mean to you?
it's everything. It's meditative. It's a way to just balance, a way to think, a way to just process my ideas, my thoughts. I've also found a new way to challenge myself through running and find new challenges. And just me being along my journey, I thought, you know what? If I can find these ways to challenge myself and something that's solely me out there, not dependent on anybody else. Yeah. I think it's relatable to everybody.
Yeah, to be somebody, I guess, that was on a team sport all the time, soccer, basketball, and probably other sports that you played just for fun. The transition to something that is solely independent and all about you and your will to keep going is very different, I'm sure.
It is.
And you can't depend on nobody.
Nobody. And it's really, when you're running, say you set yourself up for a goal and you're like, you know what, I want to run this distance. And there comes a point where you meet your threshold and it's like, am I going to keep going or am I going to stop? Right? If you stop, nobody's going to pick you up to keep going. Right? So it's really on you to decide how you want to finish this.
We're going to get into that, the idea of not having anybody, because this whole me versus me movement actually is kind of like your support system. So we'll get into that in a second. But let's go backwards a little bit.
Okay.
Tell me about who Miguel was, other than the basketball player in Halifax. Tell me who Miguel was before this transition into who you are today. You're a party guy.
I am a party guy.
He still is a party guy.
I still am a party guy. I enjoy a good time, you know. There's a lot of things that happened in my life that I really try not to take life for granted. I really just try to enjoy the moment. I hear you on that. Right. So I was a guy pre everything that happened in this world, is this huge pandemic and everything. I was a guy, you know, in the back of the club, bottles come in, taking shots out of tequila. My friends and I were on flights every month, going somewhere, partying, coming home at 5, 6, eating bad food, just really enjoying life as much as we can. Yeah. Every opportunity, I was on a plane. And that felt good. I loved it. I still do love it. And then what happened? And then what changed? COVID? That was part of it. It was just progressively I could see the changes in myself, my body, my energy levels. Okay. So it was catching up to you. It was definitely. Yeah, we're not spring chickens anymore. No, like you feel the effects, and pre-COVID and everything like that. I was coaching. Okay. So I was coaching 2 basketball teams, 2 youth teams, and they're like U19, U17, U16. So they're good. They can hang. They're fit. They're in shape. And whenever there's not enough players, I'm jumping in, running with them. And I'm feeling the effects of not being able to do what I got to do. And these guys, my young guys are calling me out like, Coach, you can't do this. Oh, my gosh. I'm like, what am I doing? And then when I'm at home, I used to live over by Parkline. Okay. We didn't have an elevator. Holla, me too. Hey. Parkline. But no. I feel like a lot of people in Toronto live at Parkline. Yeah, I was living out there for a little bit, and my building didn't have stairs. Oh, shit. Okay, mine did. So, I mean, not stairs, not elevators. Sorry. Oh, I'm like, mine had elevators and stairs. No, we didn't have elevators. So, I was living on the 4th floor. Okay. And every time I'm coming back at night after coaching, probably around 11 p.m., because I coached in the East End. Shout out the East End. Hey. You know, that's where all the real ones are from. That's where I was born. So. But I'm walking up 4 flights of stairs, and I'm tired. And I'm like, why am I tired? Why am I breathing heavy off of walking up? The bottles in the club. Like, it doesn't make sense. And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm in shape. I'm going to the gym and just lift it. I'm not doing any conditioning. I'm getting my 10, 15 minutes running with the kids in their scrimmage and stopping every few minutes to talk to them and taking breaks. Like, hey, no, you know what? We need to do this play. Catching my breath. But it just over time and just looking in the mirror, I'm like, yo, this isn't me. Right? This is not. This is not the person who was an athlete either. No. Yeah. So it just didn't feel good, and more importantly, more like past looks. It's about how you feel. Yeah. Right. So that was a huge catalyst in making me want to change. So then COVID kicked in. Right. And lifestyle in general changed. Right. Like, you know, we were so used to what felt normal to us, I think. And what felt normal just literally got pulled out from under us like a rug. And I mean, we've done pretty good. Like,
you know, a solid group of friends. Like we've had our minimal like things that we try to do to feel normal, but like it doesn't feel fully the same until more recently. But you know, your whole lifestyle of partying and eating whatever you want, whenever you want, and going wherever you wanted, whenever you want, that changed a little bit. So what was the switch? What exactly happened that kind of like led to this movement? And then let's talk about me versus me.
Well, literally the day that everything started changing in March.
Yeah.
I was packed. I was ready to go to the airport. I was on my way to Miami.
Oh shit.
And so my boy called me. He's like, "Yo, don't fly out tonight. Liv's closing. Story's closing tonight."
You can't go to Miami and not go to Live
right?
Story.
So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what? I don't really know what's gonna happen next. I'm gonna just check back tomorrow, and I'll just reschedule my flight for tomorrow. Next thing you know,
never came.
It never came. Next thing you know, Story's closed for the week. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm gonna fly out next week. Then all of a sudden, we're in a full lockdown. The whole world's in a lockdown. So I'm just like, okay, cool. I did like everybody else. All right, we got some time off. Let's watch some Netflix. Let's eat food. You know what? I'm doing my DJ thing on live, drinking by myself. You know, jamming to the music in my room, and you know what? That type of lifestyle, being home, drinking, eating bad food, sleeping in, watching Netflix, it could only last so long. And I think everybody could relate to that because we all did it.
Physically, we started to feel it. Mentally, we started to feel it. And I think it was like that tip from just feeling the physical like strain to the mental strain that people started to either be like, it was a make or break moment for people. Either like they went downhill and they kind of got into a bad place of feelings and physical fitness, or it was like, oh nah, I need to fucking change this.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest change for me was there was a point when all the BLM started happening.
Oh yeah, that was about June and July.
No. Even before that, it was in April.
Oh, it was April. Actually, yeah, it was April.
April, and I'm there because we're home, so we're on Instagram all day scrolling, and you're seeing people die. You're seeing all these posts. You're seeing so much awareness, and it was so much negativity, like way more. It was overload. Yeah,
it was. It was.
Right?
It was a stimulation overload of really like catastrophic energy nonstop, and then people's response to seeing that was also like an overload because now it was almost like you were on one side of the fence of like wanting to be aware of what was going on and consuming it all the time, or being told that you're in the wrong for consuming it because you should actually remove yourself from looking at these things.
And 100%. Like, being a black male, we're aware of that. We know what happens. We know what happens all year round. We're aware.
Not new.
It's not news to us, right? And just to look and see it, and most of the time, okay, we see it here and there. Once in a while, we're like, oh damn, that's crazy, and we've kind of become a little bit desensitized to it just because of a lot of trauma that we've had to endure. Yeah. But at that time, it was like every single person that you're scrolling through is something negative, or they want, people wanted to help, but they're putting all this stuff, and it's triggering.
Yeah, triggering is the word that I was looking for.
And it was crazy. And for me personally, just seeing it, like after a few days, it literally became like overwhelming. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? Like people were messaging me trying to ask how I feel, talk about. I'm like, I can't even. Like I'm coming off of Instagram, and I deleted Instagram for 2 weeks, and I was like, I can't. I gotta detach myself. I gotta just refresh my mental because I can't ingest all this negativity. And just during that time, I did a lot of self-reflection and just thinking to myself, some meditation, a lot of praying, just to really get through it, because just the weight of the pandemic and then this on top of that, it was just ridiculous. And through that time, just a core group of my friends, we were just trying to uplift one another. I'm like, you know what, just for our mental health, we need to get back to what we're doing. Right. My boy JR, who's heavily involved with the brand too, he was trying to get me out. Shout out JR. You know, hello's JR. Look him up on IG. But he's been with me through like my whole life. We've been friends from the sandbox, and like he was trying to get me to run like months before I even started, and I was like, nah, I'm not into it. Like, you do your thing. I'm not trying to run.
He was in the club popping bottles. JR, he did not want to run.
You know, JR was in the same clubs popping bottles with me.
But he was waking up and running.
but he was still doing his running thing and telling me to run. I was like, nah, I'm not having it. I get my run in when I go hoop with the kids. But a couple of my teammates, Harry and Jerome, they were like, yo, we got to get out and run. We just got to do something, even if it's a little 5K. And I was like, yeah, we should. And there was one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to go do this. And we all have the mindset, like, you know what? Oh, yeah, I used to be able to run this. I used to run track in high school. I used to be able to do this. I'm going to run out, go out and do it. You guys
forgot that time kicked in a little bit.
Man, does time ever catch up to me? I went out to do a 5K, and me, I'm a very competitive person. So I'm seeing girls, guys, kids, everybody posts on Instagram
that they can run and they can
do their 5K times. Everybody's happy about it.
What time window was this approximately? Like this was
mid-April.
Okay, all right.
So I was like 260 pounds.
260 pounds.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go do a 5K. I see everybody doing their 5Ks.
Okay.
I see your times. I do this. I'm an athlete. I'm jumping out there. I'm gonna do the damn thing. So I go, get out, put my sneakers on. I don't even have proper running shoes. Put whatever on. Boom, go off on my 5K. It killed me. It absolutely.
Did you try running in Vans? Were you running in Vans? I hope not.
Nah. I think I was running some Roshi run shoes. So they're not even
not real
running shoes.
But it killed you.
It killed me. I had to stop a few times. My back's hurting, my neck's hurting, my legs hurting, my knees hurting.
Your heart.
My heart's pounding through my chest, and
That's
killing me.
That's how I feel when I train with you.
But it was killing me, and I'm like, yo, I have to finish this 5K, and it took me around, I think, like 37, 38 minutes. And I had to stop like 3-4 times to catch my breath. And I was like, yo, this is not me. I can't run 5K without stopping.
I can't run 5K.
And I'm looking at people's times. I'm like, what?
What would you say I mean, I don't run, so shout out to you. But what would you say like a fair time would be for someone who's like, you know, a beginner who's starting to run, but like can do the full 5K stretch? Like, what would be a fair time for someone?
Honestly, a fair time is whatever you can do without stopping. Okay. Your goal should just be to not
continue
stop.
And not stop.
Right. Everybody.
So you were like 12 minutes in dying, or like 30 minutes in dying?
No, I was dying after 5 minutes.
Oh shit. Okay.
My
That's honest.
I was beating out my chest, and I'm like, I gotta keep going until I had to stop. I'm like, yo, this is not me. And I keep running. I'm like, why can't I do this? I'm getting a little bit frustrated. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. This is not me. So after that, I came home and I was just like, no. I'm like, no.
Not acceptable.
Not acceptable. Like, I do this. And I'm like, I don't know what it's going to take, but I'm going to wake up again and do it tomorrow. And the next day and the next day and the next day.
And you did?
Until I could do it.
And you woke up? And
woke up, my whole body's killing me. I felt like I got hit by a truck. And I was like, let's go.
Oh my gosh.
We're doing
same group, same group of people. So you started out, was it like a group of you that started out then?
So there was a few of us. Jared was running, Harry was running, Jerome was running. And we were all running by ourselves because this is during quarantine.
Separately. Yeah. Okay, got it. So it was quarantine, so you weren't even supposed to be around each other.
So this is the time when everybody was doing their 5Ks and just posting on Instagram.
Oh shit. Okay, so you guys were encouraging each other to get out there, but you weren't actually running together.
We weren't running together.
Oh, so you were like really feeling defeated on this run because it wasn't even like you had your brothers with you running. No, like, oh shit.
And that's where I really started saying, you know what? The only one that's going to get me through this is me. Yeah. And that's where me versus me stem from. It's like, you
say that again. Say the only one. Say it again, because in case they didn't catch it with your low voice.
The only ones that's going to get you through it is yourself.
Okay. So that's when you started me versus me.
That's it. Because you look in the mirror and you're like, it's us. When you're out there running and you want to complete something, it's like half your body's telling you, I got to stop. And then half your body's telling you, keep going. So you're really facing an internal battle.
Yeah. You got to fight those anti-running demons.
Anti-anything, because in life, you're faced with problems every day. And that's where the brand transcends across many different platforms. Because if you get turned down from a job, right, you really got to figure out, am I gonna sit and dwell on that, or am I gonna pivot and figure it out? Because that happened to me in September. I lost my job with TDSB. I think I even put something on Instagram, and I was like, okay, cool. So I lost it. Sucks. But what's next? What's next? I'm not gonna let it get me down. So I'm like, you know what? The brand's doing this thing. I'm gonna focus here. I'm gonna figure out
where to redirect your energy.
And that's it.
It's funny you say that, because Keith and I have talked about this a couple times, but I want to say the first episode was where we really like dove into kind of like the mentality of like, is it going to make you or break you? Because for when COVID kicked in and when people were really at a standstill of what to do next, it was really the people that saw it as an opportunity that were able to continue to elevate. And it wasn't easy. Whatever you were trying to elevate and do was challenging, because we were now facing, lockdowns and financial issues and all of these things. But did you see it as an opportunity for change, for growth and all of these things? Or did you see it as a justification for shutting down and like locking yourself away and not feeling motivated and all of those things? And some people started on the negative and, moved to the positive, but some people, they saw it as an opportunity for things. So tell me about the movement. So I'm excited because I have a shirt on. So I finally have my Me versus Me gear, and we'll show a little bit more of it later. But tell me about the movement itself. So you were running independently, but you guys were doing this kind of as a joint force and like encouraging each other. What developed from that? Because if you guys don't know the story yet, or you haven't heard of Me versus Me yet, it's pretty impressive. So tell everybody a little bit about it. So
I started my journey with running. And as soon as I couldn't complete the 5K, I was like, you know what? I need to make a change. All right. Leading up to that point for running, I was here. My dad's side is Jamaican. I'm here cooking up Jamaican dishes, cooking up rice, dumpling, ackee saltfish, stew peas and rice, everything, right? And I'm just eating it. Not worrying about what I'm eating. And because we're all at home, I'm not doing anything. I'm eating and sleeping, eating and sleeping,
eating and sitting, eating and sleeping. Yep.
And when I did that first 5K, it was a wake-up call. So I was like, you know what? I need to make an adjustment, and there's never going to be
the right time.
And it's not even the right time. There's never going to be an opportunity where everything is stopped for me.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because before I was working with the Toronto District School Board, so I was working all day in Scarborough. Right after that, I'm fighting traffic for an hour and a half to go even further east to Whitby to go coach 2 basketball teams. So I'm in the gym from, I say I finish at work at 4. I'm fighting traffic till 5:30. I can maybe grab something right before practice.
Stop and grab some shitty food on the way.
That's it. Now I'm in practice, back-to-back practices. So I'm coaching from 6 to 10. And then I got to drive back to Etobicoke.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
So I have no time to cook. I have no time to prepare anything.
And not to eat healthy food too. Like let's be honest, the shit you're buying on the road is not good food.
No. By the time I get home, I'm like, whatever's quickest, I'm eating it.
Yep.
I'm trying to relax, decompress, and then the next day I got to do it again.
Yeah.
So that was part of the process. And then during quarantine, we had nothing to do. This is the first time in my life where everything has stopped. And it's like, what are you doing with your time? You're here drinking, making food, eating, sleeping, watching Netflix. What are you doing? Yeah. Right? So I had a ridiculous amount of time, and it's like, do something.
There was a lot of excess time, let's be honest.
Like I was like, why? If you can't do something with this time, you don't deserve anything.
Yeah.
You don't deserve anything. You're literally wasting time, and that's time you can't get back. Right? And you have no other
And we had no idea how much time this was going to turn into.
No.
We thought this was going to be like 2-3 weeks max.
Right? But, I mean, if you could utilize 1 week and use it to your advantage, maybe that'll be the catalyst into a new habit or behavior for you.
Yep.
Right? So I started focusing on, you know what? Let me just cut out some of the things that
you were eating
aren't conducive to a healthy lifestyle. So I started eating better, I started making sure I was active every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I vowed to myself, you know what, I'm gonna run 5K every day. I don't care how bad I'm hurting, right? If I'm hurting a lot, I'll take it easy. But get out there and move. If I'm really hurting, get out there and walk.
Okay.
Or ride a bike. So I started running my 5K every day. And I changed my eating habits. I cut out drinking pop. I cut out liquor. I'm like, I'm not out partying. What am I drinking at home for?
Yeah,
let me just chill for a minute.
That
you know what I mean?
That borders on some alcoholism at some point.
But I'm like, I was just having fun. And I started just cutting those little things.
Mm-hmm.
And every day I'm seeing like a pound or two start to drop.
Shut off.
Just from the little changes that I'm making. So I'm like, okay, cool.
And that feels good. It feels rewarding, right?
It does. Yeah. And you start to feel, oh, I have more energy now. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I completed my first 5K after I think like, I don't know, maybe like 4 days or 5 days. Then I'm like, okay, I could do a little bit more. So now I'm pushing for time. And then I started, you know what? I'm going to do a 5K and take my bike out and ride a little bit.
Oh, shit.
Right? So as soon as I dropped, I think I dropped 20 pounds in like a month. Then I was like, you know what? I'm feeling better. I'm feeling more energized. I'm feeling the effects. I need to get those closest to me involved. So I hit up a few of my homies. I'm like, yo.
He's like, I got this new thing. It's called health.
I'm like, look, we're running.
Yeah.
I don't care how you feel. We're going to do it. I don't care how long it takes. We're going to do it. And they could see the effects in me. Jared was already on board because, you know, he was doing this thing. He wasn't running as frequent as we do now, but he was already like, you know what? All right, we're in. Okay. Jerome, Harry, we're in. My boy, Winty, Caspi, they said we're in. Okay. You know what I mean? So we're like, cool, let's do it. And these are guys that we partied. We've been in the clubs, drinking tequila, but we all motivate each other, try to push each other to the next level.
Amazing.
So I'm like, okay, cool, let's do it. So we started doing that, running once a week, every Thursday. And the same thing with my family. I'm like, hey, I went to their house. I'm like, look, I know you guys aren't active.
Oh my goodness.
This is helping for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys need. I don't know what kind of support you need, but we need to make a change. So I went to my mom and dad, sisters, my brother, my niece, everything. I said, yo, I'll come and put you guys through a boot camp. You don't got to run, but you're going to be active. Go on some walks, do something, right? And like, this is something that was echoed to me from my boy Conrad. He was like, yo, bro, just, keep pushing what you're doing. He's actually the one that came up with Move with Migz. He's like, yo, you should just brand Move with Migz. Like, keep doing it. Tell people. And
you got to keep moving with Migz.
That's it. So I started literally documenting my progress on Instagram and just being like, you know what? This is me, all of me. I'm out here. Just do it. Get 30 minutes in.
I think that sorry to cut you off. I think that the thing that connects with people the most is authenticity. So the more you can expose yourself and be vulnerable and share with people, the more people feel connected to you and your message and your passion and stuff. Because I feel like when everything's so contrived, people disconnect and they're like not convinced. They don't feel like they're capable of achieving what you've achieved. So that rawness, I think, is also what helped connect to people.
Right.
So.
And no. You got to
get your 30 in. So explain that. I have it noted that I wanted to ask you, what does the get your 30 in mean? Is that 30K? Is that 30 minutes? Is that 30 reps? What does that mean?
It's 30 minutes of exercise.
Okay. So every day.
30 minutes of movement. All right. So whether you go out and walk, which is very low intensity, it can be very low intensity. Whether you go out and do a workout, whether you're going to go out and play a sport, rollerblade, anything, get 30 minutes of
Move
exercise
with Migz.
And movement. I think a lot of us fall into the routine of, you know what, we're working, we're too busy, we're not doing anything that's conducive to a healthy lifestyle. And then we come home, we're so tired, so we sit and we prioritize watching TV or other things are going out.
That's a good break. That's a good break, yeah.
Right? But, I mean, over time, your body takes a toll. If you have a car sitting in the garage and you're not starting it, right, it's not going to run the same.
That's a good metaphor.
Right? You gotta oil the engine.
That shit's gonna struggle to turn back on.
You gotta oil the engine. And 30 minutes of exercise, even though it sounds like a small amount, it's attainable.
I did my 30 today, by the way, everybody listening. I rode my bike before I came here, and now I have to work out after with him. So I'm doing like a triple 30.
Yeah, but I mean, no, it's good. And you'll see the benefits. You'll see the changes. You'll see your energy levels change, right? And
I definitely agree.
And everybody, even though you might not be an athletic person per se, when you start seeing yourself progress, you're going to start creating some challenges for yourself because you're like, I want to see what else I could achieve. And that's all it's about. It's just trying to encourage people to just move, right?
So we're going to go back to the running group and stuff, but I wanted to just ask you, when sometimes you post and you talk about, people getting their 30 in, you've been very honest with people about the idea that what's 30 to you might be very different from what's 30 to me or somebody else. And I would love for you to just kind of share a little bit about that insight, because I think that it goes back to what I was saying before, that sometimes it's hard to connect because you feel like you're not capable of what the person that you're hearing or you're looking at is capable of. And it could be a little bit, you could feel a little defeated because you're incapable of kind of like hitting their goals and their targets. But ideally you want it to be about you versus you, right? Right.
And that's exactly what it is. I think a lot of us, we get caught up in looking at people on Instagram and being like, wow, this person just did this. I can't do that. And we rule ourselves out. We already psych ourselves up before we even try.
We shut ourselves down before we even stepped in the ring.
But at the end of the day, it's you're looking at a moment in time, right? What you see and what I choose to show you, you don't see the work behind the scenes. So there's no way you could potentially do what I do if you're not doing the same thing that I'm doing behind the scenes. Yeah. Right? That could come down to nutrition. That could come down to your genetics, your sleep. Yeah. What are you doing? You know what I mean? I come from an athletic background, a basketball background, a very competitive basketball background. And the mentality that was engraved into me was, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you have this job to do, get it done, right? Our university coach used to be like, if you guys want to go out and party, that's cool. But when you come to practice, be ready to practice.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, it's like, I need to get this done. There was no ifs, ands, or buts, especially when you're playing at a high level of sports. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is what needs to be done. Do it, right? So for me, when I was creating challenges for myself, like I said, I'm competitive. So I completed the 5K. I'm like, I need to do 10. Cool. I did 10. I'm like, I started seeing people do half marathons. I started seeing people doing marathons. I'm like, you know what? I'm doing a marathon. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to get it done. Yeah. I don't know how or where the strength's going to come from, but that's my mindset, right? For other people, you got to figure out what works for you. What works for me might not work for them. I can wake up, run, come back home, maybe eat something, then go do, like I could run a 10K, come back, do a 30K bike ride, come back, maybe go swim. I'm used to doing that.
I was going to say, when we were talking about like genetics and sleep and all those things, the other big factor is people's mental health. And some people don't have that mental endurance to continuously push themselves. So like, if you have a support system around you, that also helps. But sometimes if it is just me versus me, you need to give yourself a little bit of like, what's the word I'm looking for? You need to be a little tender with yourself and also encourage yourself and remind yourself that it is you versus you and you're building yourself up. So not everybody comes into it with this like very athletic, do or die mental, like, mental perspective on competitiveness, right? So for some people who are not as athletic, they need to like build themselves up mentally to be true. Because it's hard. Otherwise, it's like you said, you'll rule yourself out before you even begin.
But a big thing that a lot of us do and a lot of people do is they rule themselves out before they even start. Yep. Right? So there's way too much negative self-talk. Right?
Way too much negative.
And if they say, okay, he completed a 5K, I can't do that. No. It's not about what I'm doing. It's about what you're doing. Yep. If you get up and you decide to walk 1K, you didn't do that yesterday. That's a win.
Yeah.
right?
Take your W's.
Yeah, you gotta give yourself the flowers. You gotta be like, I did 1K. I didn't do that yesterday.
Yeah.
I did 1K. Now tomorrow maybe I'm gonna do 1.5K
Yeah.
on a walk. That's a win, right? You don't gotta go from 0 to 100 in one day, especially if you haven't been doing anything. Take the incremental wins, take your time, and over time, all those little wins will add up to something big. But there's too many of us that look at the final product without acknowledging the process that it takes there.
Agree. So let's go back to the group. So you started running with the guys, and you guys started doing this regularly together.
Right.
And so tell us how you got to where we are now, because your count, the highest count was what?
120. Yeah.
On his birthday. So 120 runners, but tell us how you got from there to here.
Consistency.
Okay.
I think people would see me post every day, and they're like, I get messages like, bro, you're gonna hurt yourself. You're not gonna take any breaks. I'm like, and what people don't see is that I take breaks when I need it. I know what my body's capable of doing. And there were a few people, like when we started, people were like, you're going too hard. You need to stop. You're gonna hurt yourself. This is too much. And I'm like, no, this is not new to me. Yeah. I know what competing at the level, I know what my body can take, and I'm gonna push to that level. If I start feeling pain or anything like that, then I know, okay, I got to dial it back. I need to chill. And
your body's in a more physically fit condition than it was for a very long time.
Exactly.
So you're pushing yourself a little bit.
Exactly. And the biggest thing that people need to do is you need to understand and listen to your body. Right? If you
100%.
You don't push past what you're able to do, because tomorrow's another day.
Yeah.
Right? So I know what I'm capable of doing, and we pushed, and just posting every day, working out every day. There's breaks in between, but just continually pushing and consistently getting out there and just showing people like, yo, we're out here, we're doing it, we're finding time to do it. Yeah. Summertime came and patios open. I'm like, that's cool. We still want to do that, but we're still gonna prioritize our health first, and then we're gonna have.
So how often were you guys running, like in a group?
We'd meet every Thursday, so it was once a week. And we still do once a week, and the more we did it, there was more guys that came, and you know what? I only opened it to guys. Okay. To start with. Okay. Just because I know, for a lot of men, we've been taught, don't show emotion, be strong. Okay. So I was really focusing on men's health at that time. Okay. For the masses, for everybody else, it was like everybody just get out, do your thing. Yeah. But in this group, it was an intimate group, and it was just like, you know what? I don't want guys to feel like, oh, they can't show or be them or show weakness in front of women.
Oh,
right?
Okay, got it,
right?
got it.
If it's a group of guys, you feel a little bit more comfortable. Yeah. But for a guy, sometimes guys don't want to show weakness.
Drop their guard in front of women. Okay.
Right? So it was guys for the better part of that, the start of it. Yeah. For the entire summer, and we started getting more and more guys coming out, and we started running, and the feedback we were getting on the streets, just a bunch of guys running down the street, shirts off, sweating. I
don't know that a lot of people were complaining.
We were getting some looks. It was funny. It was a cool experience, and some guys were getting attention, and it was cool. Yeah. And it was a bonding moment. Yeah. And that's what it turned into, and it was a opportunity for us to just really encourage each other. And you see that model where no man that gets left behind. We weren't leaving anybody. We weren't racing. It was like, okay, we'll take breaks as needed, and we're gonna keep going. We're gonna finish this together, because that's what it was about.
It's funny that you say that, because it goes back to what we were saying kind of in the beginning of this conversation, where we were talking about, it's me versus me, and it's really, you're looking at yourself, and it's only you that can make this happen for yourself. But you are far, people are far better together. It's still on you to make these changes and to make this progress, but to have a unified group of people that are working towards the same goals and the same outcome is totally uplifting. It's totally, it helps you grow and develop and elevate yourself.
Definitely.
Because you guys all have the same mental state and physical challenge in front of you. Yeah. It's just a matter that not everyone's going to get there at the same time. So you guys encourage each other. So you guys had a group of guys, and then what happened?
So we continued to run, and
people kept seeing all these guys running shirtless around the city of
running
Toronto.
Shirtless. We're playing music, trying to create a vibe,
Yeah.
encouraging one another. And, random people would start asking, like, hey, what is this? And we're like, you know what, if you want to come join, or every Thursday we're outside running.
And this, by random, you mean ladies?
No,
Or just
guys.
anyone?
Guys.
More
I
guys.
mean, ladies were asking to join.
Okay.
And at this time, I was like, no, like, we're not gonna mix the group right now.
Yeah.
Just focusing on
men's health.
health and just pushing guys, right? And I welcomed everybody, tag the brand, me versus me.
Do your
if
30.
you want, get your 30 in.
Yeah.
But right now we're just focusing on this.
Okay.
And we did a half marathon that was open to everybody.
Okay.
And then after that, I think at the end of summer, coming into fall, the weather started to change.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I think we're at a point where we can integrate the group and invite females. And we invited women. We opened it to everybody, all levels of fitness. And from there, we got to winter. And from there was a lot of people that
dropped off. Hey. A lot of people probably dropped off.
Yeah. Winter
cold.
was a true challenge, right? And people were like, yeah, these guys aren't going to run through the winter. And if you ask Jared, people were saying these guys aren't going to last through the winter. It's not going to happen. Like it's getting cooler and cooler.
And it gets darker too. It's dark.
It was getting
cold.
darker earlier. It was getting cooler.
Slippery. Slippier. That's not a word.
More
but
slippery.
Slippery.
Yeah, it was getting more slippery. Like it was crazy. And at this point, I still haven't even done my marathon.
Okay.
And we set a date to do our marathon December. I think it was December 6th.
Oh shit! Dead of winter.
To be honest, it wasn't snowing yet.
Okay.
But it was just getting cold.
It was cold. Okay.
It was getting cold. And we were still running. And I know there were some people that were looking like, hey, when are you guys going to stop? And I said, we're running
we
through
don't
winter.
stop.
We're running through winter. I'm running through winter. Even if I'm running by myself, I'm running through winter. Because I know that was going to be a true mental test of how bad do I want to continue doing what I'm doing? Am I going to take steps backwards? Or am I going to continue to propel forward?
And even though it was you versus you and me versus me, you had people following. Like, you had a following of people that were, you were leading by example. So if you drop the ball, that would make everybody else trickle down, possibly. Right.
And I want it to be as authentic as possible. So I said, I'll be out there. I don't know what the conditions are going to be, but I'll be outside.
Cash him outside.
Cash me outside. I'll be outside every Thursday. So we did a marathon in the winter, and that was a really, really dope experience. I had people that were coming to the run club. They met us at different checkpoints. Okay. So for people that don't know, a marathon's 42.2 kilometers.
Shit. Okay.
So it took me.
I don't know that I can even run 2 kilometers, but
yeah, it took 4 hours of nonstop running.
Oh my God! Okay.
And I didn't know what I was in for. I've never done anything like that in my life. It was by far probably the most challenging thing I've done. For sure. But I said, you know what, my boys group, True Champs Collective, a basketball organization. I said, hey, you guys meet us, come run a few kilometers with us. Then I had a couple other groups meet us at different checkpoints along the way.
Oh, wow.
Just to bring in new energy. Yeah. And then I had the Run Club and District TO and Toronto Sports Performance, who does my physio. I said, you guys come. I've seen
them with all the needles stuck in you.
Yeah, all the acupuncture. I asked them to meet us on the last leg. And
that's awesome, Miguel.
I just thought, I don't know how I'm going to get through 42 kilometers because this is a beast.
Yeah.
But if I have new energy coming in.
How many of you guys were doing the full run?
The full run?
Yeah.
There were 3 of us that
shit. Good for you guys.
No, 4 of us. 4 of us.
Okay, wow. And so I get that. So you guys had different doses of people coming in to rejuvenate you along the way. That's actually pretty genius.
Yeah. And then I had Lopez and a couple other people riding on bicycles with some just refreshments like Gatorade and everything. Ahmed saved us. He's a part of the Run Club. He saved us. I think we were probably 30K in, and I was feeling so dehydrated. I had no water. I'm there running. While I'm running, I'm praying to God, like, God, I don't know how I'm going to finish this, but I need you right now. I need you right now. And Ahmed popped up with like all these Gatorades.
Oh shit!
So like I got a couple, and I finished those over, and it just kept going and kept trekking, and it was an experience. And that during that run, and that was before like winter really hit, because it was just cold outside. There was no snow, but during that run is where I really hit the me versus me moment. Up until that point, like when I did my first 5K, it was cool.
Yeah.
But I've never experienced anything like this. And when I hit about 35 kilometers, I had like 7 kilometers left. I was dehydrated. My muscles were killing me. I was like, I need to stop and walk for a moment. And then I'm just playing in my head, like, if I stop, to say I completed this, I got to do it again.
Yeah.
Right? Like just for my
own. You got to start again. Just
you know
because
what I mean?
you're competitive in nature.
Yeah, and I was like, and I'm like, do I actually have to stop, or is it my mind telling me to stop? Yeah. Am I actually tired, or so I'm here playing
this
these
guy was having
battles, like a whole conversation in my head while I'm still running, and I'm feeling every muscle in my body ache. I'm feeling dehydration. I'm there. I had to like really go into my competitive like mental lock mode. And like when I'm really locked in, like I'm talking to myself. I'm like, yo, Migz, go. Like, are you soft? Like, yo, what are you doing? Like, do you really gotta stop? Like, are you a man? Are you a mouse? Like, what are you doing, bro?
Are you a man or a mouse?
Like,
man versus mouse.
like who are you right now?
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do? Like, are you a punt? Like run, just run. And it's almost done. It's 7K. You've done 7K in your sleep. Just finish it. And when you're finished it, you're finished it. So I'm literally talking to myself out loud. There's a few guys like from the district team and TSP team that were running beside me. I know they're probably looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm not seeing anything but like just finish and just talk to myself. And just really speak. So
I'm not gonna lie. The other day when I was training with you and you made me hit the bag, I was talking to the bag. So I feel it.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to keep going.
Yeah.
Right, and that's part of my motivation.
But that was nothing close to a 42K.
But I mean,
that's like a 40-minute workout.
That's your marathon. It gotta start somewhere. It's gotta start somewhere.
So now you guys have hit 120 runners. What's the goal? Like, is there a goal there? Like, or is it just like keep going?
To be honest, I never even expected this many people to come out.
To be honest, it's crazy to see. So I do not run, and I have not run with them. That will be a goal in the future. But I pulled up on your birthday to come, we came to do a little celebration at the end of the run. And there was 2 things I noticed. Actually, there was a few things I noticed, but the first is the number of people. There are so many people running with you guys. It's crazy. And it's not like you guys get like a 1 week on of like some insane number and then the next week it's like 10 people. It's like consistently a very high volume of runners with you. It's really a unified group. And the other thing that I noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong because I was just observing this one day, but like you and JR, and I don't know about anybody else, but you guys kind of trail the pack, right? Like, is that from a motivation standpoint? Is that just kind of like fill me in on that? Like I didn't see you guys like flying past everybody and being like, yo, we'll wait for you at the finish line. Like come through. Like you guys seem like you guys stuck with a group of people that were still like hauling it in at the end there.
Yeah. I mean, it comes right back down to that whole MVM mentality. Like just to dial it back a little bit, going through the winter, there was some nights there was like 5, 6, 7, 8 of us, 10 of us maybe, and we were running in like -50.
Oh my God.
We were running in snowstorms. People were like, are we gonna cancel today? I'm like, I'll be outside.
Yeah.
You can cancel if you want, but I'll be outside because I'm gonna show people like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You make a decision. To go outside. If it's cold, you're making a decision. It's too cold. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
You can go, but you're making a choice.
Yep.
Right. And that's what life comes down to. It's about choices. So up until about 6 weeks ago, there was probably like 15, 20 of us at the run. And the weather started to become nicer. So more people started to come out. And week after week, and people that have been kind of like following the journey and seeing the run club week after week, they wanted to come out and join it. So it started expanding exponentially, like week after week. Somebody's telling a friend is telling a friend, and we got up to 100, people, right? 120. And And from like our team perspective, it's not about a race. If I want to run fast, I'll do that by myself when I want to go compete and push myself. That's my practice time. That's my time to challenge. This Thursdays is about community. It's about encouraging one another. It's about motivating. It's about helping your neighbor finish, right? It's about telling each other, you know what, you could do it. Because I know for me, if I didn't have the support of my friends or even people online and whoever they are running and being like, oh, Migz, you're motivating me, or Migz, yo, this is helping me. If I didn't have that support, I could have probably stopped a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? But just feeling that community and that family support, I know how that helps me. And just coming from a team background, I know what a team feels like.
Yeah.
Right? Like for basketball, you're really in a brotherhood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
University, we're living together, traveling together.
You eat, sleep all the time.
Everything together. Yeah. So I know if you're in a team environment, you're going to progress so much more than if you're by yourself sometimes. So that's the kind of environment that we try to create, the kind of family, community, team environment. So on Thursdays, it's not about me pushing myself to finish. I could do that any day of the week.
To whip JR's ass.
No, but it's really just, you know, I want you to finish. Yeah. So if I got to slow down and run beside you and just give you some words of encouragement, we're going to do that. Yeah. Before every Thursday, before we take off, I tell everybody, hey, introduce yourself to 5 people. Now you're going to know 5 more people. And I tell everyone, don't be afraid to motivate or encourage. Don't be shy.
So that's the other thing I noticed at the end of the run, that I even said to Keith, I was like, yo, I'm hearing a lot of people say to each other, like, yo, thanks for that last push, or like, you know, I heard you at the end, like, thanks for saying keep going, because I was about to stop. Like, I caught a lot of that right at that finish line there, and that was really impressive to me, to be an observer of that, because it really demonstrated that it's about community and about encouraging each other. Because to think about if those people didn't have that in that moment, or didn't have like your mental capacity of like the man versus mouse, you know, ideology, that those people might not have finished. They might have just been like, I'm going to walk off the trail right now, you know, and it's very likely. But they had a group of people who are like-minded to continuously be like, no, you're almost at the end. There's a light at the end of the tunnel there. Sorry to interrupt you there. But the community is amazing. So what can I ask, what experiences or like what opportunities have like come out of this for you? You know, like you created the brand now, and you have all your merch, and like all your runners pretty much wear the gear too, right? So what else has evolved from there?
Well, Nike, I mean, they've supported.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they got me through the winter.
Who doesn't like that?
They got me through the winter. They sent me a care package with some shoes and some winter running gear.
Wow.
And it was like stuff I wouldn't even think of, and it got me through the winter.
Amazing.
It was lightweight. It was meant for running, meant for rain, snow, whatever.
Sleet. Yeah.
Everything. So it was dope to kind of like partner with them, and they sent me a package, and it was dope. Toronto Sports Performance, whatever I was feeling in my body, any aches, pains, strains, anything, they take care of me. I go over there and they do the acupuncture. They look at my body. They hook me up. So it's dope. Who else is there? There's Eye Studio.
Okay. What's
give
that?
Me some. It's my boy's optical store. They got 2 locations in Toronto or 3 locations. 3.
I got 2 or 3.
Yeah, something like that. But they gave me some dope glasses
for running.
Just for running, and
amazing.
You know, just getting out there.
So Miguel's getting his promos on, and like a lot of endorsements over here.
And then recently, BioSteel, shout out Rich, he hooked me up with BioSteel, and we were able to bring some of their cases of drinks to just hydrate the runners at the end of the run.
That's amazing.
So when JR's doing his cool down stretch, everybody's got water and they're refreshed with the
really good
still.
at the cool down stretch.
Yeah, so it was dope. It was dope.
Yo, do you ever stop and like take it all in, like, and pat yourself on the back a little bit, or is it just constantly like, let's keep going?
Honestly, my mind is always going. I try to take it in, and people are, and like even at the runs, people are like, "Holy crap! Like look what has evolved." And I'm just like, yeah, it's dope. But my mind's always going. Even on the Thursdays, like I'm trying to get content and just motivate people.
Yeah.
Like it never stops. Even when I get home, I'm there on Instagram trying to create a reel.
Because
pictures.
you're still trying to impact the people who aren't there.
Exactly.
You're impacting the people who are present in a way that's physical because they're there and they're part of it and they're part of the community and they're running physically. But then there's the people who aren't there that you're still trying to engage with them in their minds and get them motivated and up. So I get it. It doesn't turn off for you.
No, it never. And like even like I try to really observe people. So I know some people, even after the runs, they could be a little bit discouraged because of their performance, and they still in that mentality where they want to compare themselves to others. So I just try to, connect with people and be like, hey, you did a good job, right? Because that little bit of encouragement, even like you were saying, at the end, some people might think they want to stop, and then someone tells them keep going, right? That's that internal struggle that some of us can't get over. And when you hear another voice like, yo, we got this, we're done, then you're like, okay.
I'm laughing because so I don't run with Miguel. I started boxing, like training with him, and I'm laughing because there's many times where I'm like struggling and Miguel will start like saying things to me or hitting me with the pads, and not violently, just like enough to be like, yo, keep going, you can keep going, don't stop. And that, like, a switch goes off, like something just goes off that literally is like, nah, I can keep going, even if it's just to prove to Miguel that I can do it. It's something goes off, and it's funny because it almost seems like it's part of this desire to like appease other people. And it's funny that we function like that because it should be for ourselves, but it's almost like when somebody else encourages you, you want it more, or like you want to prove to them more or something. So it's very interesting that that's part of the like mental struggle with fitness, right? I applaud people who can go into the gym and just do this by themselves and encourage themselves because it's impressive. Shout out to Nikki because she does that all the time. I'm always in awe of her. So let me ask you kind of a little bit off base question. Being such a competitive guy, being in a world of such competitive energy, I noticed when things started to open back up again, I saw a lot of group fitness things happening, around the city and stuff. Do you feel like it's all love when it comes to the me versus me movement, or do you feel like there's this sense of competition between a lot of these? I mean, you're pretty well connected and you seem like you got a lot of support from other fitness groups and stuff, but like just looking at it overall, do you feel like in the city, there's a sense of competitiveness between a lot of these fitness endeavors that people have going on, or have you felt supported and like feel all love?
So far I felt a lot of love.
Okay, that's great.
Like shout out my boys at Body by Chosen, Dwayne, XP, and Jamal. Like even when I didn't get into, I didn't have a gym to go to, and these guys hooked me up with some opportunities, and I started working out with them a little bit, and they've been like huge supporters. My boy Conrad, he's been doing his thing in fitness for a while. Barbarian, that's his company, but he's been telling me, bro, just keep going.
Sounds strong.
Yeah, he does some crazy tricks on the bars, but he's been telling me, yo, just do it, keep pushing. And any questions that I had about fitness or stuff like that, he's been doing it. And I ask him, and he's like, yeah, like do this, do that. Or even like last fall, I wanted to try to start doing some boot camps. Conrad was like, all right,
yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
We'll team up and do some boot camps and just get your name out there. So I didn't really have a vocal voice at that time. I was a little bit more timid, and he was just like, bro, so I'll lead this, you lead this, you do this, giving me pointers. So so far I felt a lot of love, and I think it's just because I'm just bringing people together.
Yeah,
I don't really
community.
look at competition, stuff like that, and I'm not really worried about that. I'm not really worried about the business side of things. I want people to get better.
Yeah,
I think at the end of the day, whether this stuff works out or not, like I'll be good. You know what I mean? Like I'm not worried about money. I'm not worried about the success of the brand or anything. I'll be good. But if people are good, then I'm good. I feel better about myself.
Well, you definitely impacted a lot of people. So let's just touch on these boot camps that you do. So I've been training with you one-on-one because I don't like the gym. I've never liked the gym. And right before COVID started, I committed to going, and I was going pretty like regularly, and I was really excited. I was like, oh, and I had started like kind of teaching myself to run a little bit. And then COVID kicked in, and then they were like, gym's locked down, and everything just went. So prior to that, I had started working out. I was boxing a little bit with like an old school boxing coach, and I loved it, but it felt very slow because I was going to classes where there was multiple people, and I just wanted to hit the pad. So I've been training with you now, and it's like, I would say a solid hour of like hard hitting, you know, like we're building my stamina back up and some endurance back up and just like my strength, and I love it. But you do that, and then you've also been doing boot camps with people, like small boot camps with people outside, especially, you know, with lockdowns again. But tell me a little bit about that, and like, you know, how did you find a group of people that maybe aren't interested in the run club situation because that's just not their forte or something that, you know, they're excited about or feel they can do, but like how did you start building that community of like boot camps? I
think there's especially right now, there's a huge demand of people that want to work out, they want to move, right? And now
and with everything closed,
and people seeing the run club grow and the MVM family and community grow, some people want to be involved, and they're just like, hey, running's really not my thing, but I want to get some movement in. So I started offering some boot camps. I'm just like, hey, if you want to pull up, it's not one-on-one personal training, but it's more endurance and conditioning based, right? So it's more of a circuit, it's a high hit exercises, and we get after it. And week after week, people show up, people put in work. I try to create the same type of environment, that team environment, encourage one another, keep pushing. I try to partner people with one another so that, you know, if you're struggling a little bit, the person beside you is going to be like, hey, keep going, keep pushing a little bit. And it's been pretty successful so far. It's been a good vibe, and people seem to like what I'm offering. So we're just rolling with it.
I know. I mean, it seems like people are always working out. Miguel is always working out. Okay, I'm gonna ask you just quickly before we start to like wrap this one up. But what you know, if I had to ask you what you were working on before this, what would you say that it was? You know, like this seems like it's a successful endeavor for you, but was this your first attempt at this? You know, was there something else that you were really passionate about prior to this? Or, you know, was this always, did you always envision that fitness was going to be your thing, or that motivating people this way was going to be your thing? Fill me in a little bit about some of that.
My thing has always been trying to connect with community.
Okay.
Connect with youth. Growing up, just knowing and being in a position where I didn't really have a lot of guidance from, like, just the environment that I was in.
Yeah. Right.
Just even from a young age, just kind of getting caught out with some of my friends going through different tough situations, and you know, as kids we get caught up in different things in the life, and just making some poor decisions. And at one point, basketball was threatened for me.
Okay.
And I kind of made a decision, like, you know what, I got to go to basketball. This is what I love, basketball. And just having to go through those little struggles, I thought, you know what, I need to help guide youth how I got a scholarship so that they don't really have to go through some of the same things that I do. So that's how I kind of got into coaching.
Okay.
And just connecting with youth there, and then now transitioning into my role when I was working with Toronto District School Board. I was a community support worker. Yeah. So I'm still in the community, working with youth, working with parents, working with newcomers to the country, just trying to get them involved, get them more involved in the school community, and just really try to help people better themselves. So I always felt it was very rewarding, just trying to help people kind of get on the right track, on the right path. Then I kind of got into some basketball training, and people are telling me, you know what, you should get into basketball training, you should do fitness. And I was like, yeah, it's not really my thing, right? I could do it, I hoop, I work out, but it's not really my thing. I was more envisioned, I didn't know what my passion was going to be. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know how.
Okay.
Or where. I pray about it, I didn't know what was next.
Yeah.
And then I started traveling more, partying more. Started doing events out in Miami, Toronto.
You were hosting events.
Yeah, hosting different parties. And I love traveling. That's like one of my weaknesses. I love hopping on a plane and just going somewhere new.
Pulling up anywhere new.
Exactly. So that was my thing. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get into event planning and party planning. So I started.
Oh, he's trying to come for me. He's trying to steal he's trying to compete with me now in the industry.
Look, we were doing the damn thing. We were in Miami doing parties and hosting bachelorettes.
I did a wedding in Miami. Okay.
You know, we were doing the thing. It was fun. And then my boy Bam and I, we started doing these parties because we both graduated from St. Mary's in Halifax. So we started going back to Halifax 2-3 times a year and just throwing parties.
Oh, wow.
And they were like sell out. They were crazy. Like,
oh, shit.
It was dope. I connect with the basketball team and be like, yo, you guys promo the party. You guys all come in free. I'll give you drinks, whatever.
And everybody wants to go where the basketball team goes, apparently.
Exactly. Everybody wants to go where the Hoopers are at. But, those parties were crazy. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just...
I'm gonna be a party planner.
Rock star lifestyle. This is the life. And I remember seeing like Tory Lanez hanging from the ceiling and crowd surfing. I'm like, I want to do that.
I want to do that. You know, he dropped at Danforth Music Hall, right?
That's okay. That's part of it.
Miguel wants to do that.
That's part of it. So I remember I went out. We were in Halifax, and I was like trying to hang from the ceiling. I had my skinny jeans on, with holes in it. I'm jumping off the bar, like hanging. I'm emceeing. Just a crazy time.
Living your best life.
I said drinking and partying, but all of that stuff started catching up, and like even in Toronto, I'm hosting people at different clubs in Toronto, everywhere. And when COVID hit, all of that stopped, and I was like, okay. So what are you doing next? what are you doing? So I really had to make a pivot. Yeah. Right? It was like, I'm dependent on this industry in order for my success.
I'm laughing because that's the word of 2021. 20 and 2021.
What, pivot? That's it. Because, now this industry stopped. They're still not open to the way that they're supposed to be doing stuff, but it stopped. I'm like, okay, cool. TDSB school board. Yeah. It's still operating. But
things were changing.
I lost my position. So I was like, okay, cool. So I can't do the events. I can't work TDSB. I can't coach because we don't have any permits and everybody's got to stay at home. Okay. And you know what? I'm just gonna work on myself, pray, and see what happens next. Yeah. And when I started on my own fitness journey and bettering myself. This was never supposed to be a brand. This was a slogan that I was trying to use to encourage people to just keep going. Yeah. And it started to really resonate with people. And people were just like, yo, this is so dope. Me versus me, tagging me, posting me. I got my cousins in.
Does anyone have it tatted yet?
No, not yet. Sure. That'll be a real moment. I don't got no tattoos. Maybe that'll be the first. Right now, I'm good with the tattoo, the tattoo chocolate skin. I'm good with that right now.
But people, and your reach, like, what's the reach? You have UK people in the UK.
So right now, like, I got my boy and some other people in Florida. I got it out in BC. This weekend we're going out to Montreal. We got a group out there. My boy Kyle in Montreal, he's pushing it. Okay. My boy Blacks, Andrew, he's from Jamaica. He's been doing the warm-ups at the Run Club, so he's got a group that's going to be starting in Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
All my family, shout out to UK, London, and all my fam out there, fam. You get me, fam? The London family. London's in the building, innit? But, yeah, they're all out there. They're repping the brand, showing me so much love. And I got a lot of family in the UK, so they're showing me love. I really want to get out there and do something.
As Brits.
So yeah, we're out there. My boy in Zimbabwe, he wants to start something out there.
Wow.
So it's moving, and honestly,
take a second, take it all in, Miguel. I need you to just take a second and take it all in. Like, do you hear yourself? Your movement is spreading internationally. People feel fulfilled coming to your run club every single Thursday, that it keeps them coming back. Like, you have to take all that in, how many people's lives you're impacting, and just what that has done for community, for fitness. even hearing you say that you had this, like, you had different fitness groups join you on your marathon and like take part and encourage you, like, what? Who else has that? Or who else does that? Like, I hope when we finish, I'll applaud you right now, but I hope when we finish, you applaud yourself a little bit more, because like just hearing you speak about how far this reaches and, you know, the number of people that it's impacting is crazy. So you need to give yourself a lot more credit.
I'm gonna try, and it's dope, and it's just to see. I think for me, just really going to some of these places and seeing the looks on people's faces. One of the biggest realizations was the summer before COVID.
Yep.
My boy Josh, True Champs Collective. We went out to Barbados to do a basketball camp.
I was gonna ask you about this.
Yeah. So we went out to these guys. I was in LA doing my thing, you know, partying and all that, and
doing his thing.
And my boy Dro called me. He's like, "Yo, we're leaving St. Kitts. We're going to Barbados. We need another coach. Are you down to come out?" I'm like, "All right, when is it?" They're like, "In 2 days, or like 2 or 3 days." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm getting home from LA in 2 days."
Yeah.
It's like, if you could get here, everything's good. It's covered, whatever. I'm like, I'll be there. Boom. So I landed in Toronto. I think I spent 1 day here, flew out to Barbados.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Just going out there, like the stay aside, like everything was good out there, but just seeing the look on the kids' faces, just the appreciation of us coming in and helping them. We weren't paid for it; it was all volunteer.
Yeah.
But just seeing the looks on the
clip
kids.
Of it. They look focused. They were like ready to impress. Like they were not playing.
Like, yeah, shout out Z out there. Z's the man out there, just holding on the basketball scene out there. But just connecting with the kids and just, you know, their appreciation for life, because I mean,
different.
It is. It's like, it's a third world country, but I mean, they're a little bit on the higher side of the third world.
Yeah.
But just seeing their appreciation out there and connecting with the kids and just their love, and like even today, like they're hitting me up on Instagram and talking to me, and like they can't wait for us to come back out there. We were supposed to be out there last summer, but we couldn't. And I was like, you know what, like this is the impact that I want.
And they're the future. It sounds cliche to say it, but children are the future.
That's it.
And what they absorb from each of their experiences does resonate later in life.
Exactly.
So these experiences with people who came internationally to like work with them and like help develop them, they won't forget that.
Exactly. and I think that's where the brand really resonates with a lot of people, because it is literally you versus you in every situation. So it can resonate with kids, it can resonate with adults, it could resonate with our grandparents. Like, there are challenges that we got to face that we got to get through. And if there's a universal message across all platforms that can't be misinterpreted, it's easy to teach.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, hey, you know you're gonna be faced with challenges, but you gotta persevere. You gotta push through.
I think perseverance is the main message of this whole episode here. This me versus me. Resilience and perseverance.
Resiliency.
Okay, so usually I play a little this or that, but I have no idea where the cards are this time around. I took them out, but I put them down somewhere. But you know what? I want to hear you shout out all the things that people should follow and be privy to, and then we'll jump into this or that, because Keith always saves the day. Thank you.
Shout out Toronto Sports Performance. Shout out Me vs. Me Mentality. That's the brand. You know what it is. Shout out Hellas JR. You know, go follow him. Shout out So Conrad, this Barbarian. Shout out Body by Chosen.
Got a lot.
Man, I got a lot of shouts. I'm gonna forget people. Don't.
That's
come
okay.
For me.
If
don't
he forgets
come for
you,
me, please.
If he forgets you, just make sure you shout him out in the comments.
And I'm gonna repost you.
But yeah, so okay, so I have some of the merch. We're wearing some of the merch, but I have some, so you can hold up this.
Oh yeah.
This one, but.
I think there's a hat kicking around somewhere.
The people listening, you guys are just going to have to go onto YouTube to check out what we're wearing, or go on Instagram and check it out. But the Instagram is Me vs. Me Mentality.
MeVsMe.ca.
Me vs. Me. That's the website?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is some of the merch. This is a sweater, and it's very soft, and I was tempted to put it on, but it's a little hot today.
It is.
But I have my T-shirt on. He's got a few different things. He's got like a highlighter yellow like amazing shirt, so you can't get missed, especially if you're running in the dark or outside. But get yourself some merch. if nothing else, it will help you feel super motivated. And then if you are a runner and you want to take part in this incredible movement, please do so, because I feel motivated and I don't even run with them. But okay, let's do a little this or that, since I have a few cards in front of me.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Also, like, if you want to work out and you're not a runner, please hit them up to do some boot camps. You can get a group of ladies together and do a boot camp, right?
Ladies, fellas, kids,
whoever,
it
anyone.
don't even matter.
Your whole family, if you're still quarantining. All right. Okay. So this or that. I don't know if you've heard an episode or seen me do this, but I'm just going to name some, like, would you rather this or that things off these cards.
Okay.
They're random as hell. But yeah, just say the first thing that comes to your mind. TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
He likes to record reels.
I just don't know how to use TikTok. That's the problem.
I don't know how to use TikTok
I tried
either.
to use TikTok one time.
We're really
I'm
showing
like,
our age right now.
what is it? Like,
we just wait for a trend to become one on Instagram so that we can do a reel.
Hey,
So-
don't get it twisted. I'm gonna do some of those TikTok dances.
Yo, he's
like
pretty
Corvette.
good at the dances.
I'm gonna be doing those dances.
He's
but
got the rain fingers and everything.
like I could do the dances, but I don't know how to set it up.
I feel like this one I know the answer to. Would you rather never leave the city you were born in or move to a new city every week?
Move to a new city every week.
Yup.
I was born in Montreal, so.
Would you rather live in a cabin in the woods or live on a beach?
beach?
Whew. Keith wants to live in a cabin. Okay. What's worse? Oh, I haven't asked this one yet. What's worse? Sending a screenshot to the wrong person or liking your crush's oldest photos, or not your crush, maybe your hater. Maybe you're a hater and you're creeping a little bit on Instagram. What's worse, sending a screenshot to the wrong person or liking someone's photo who you shouldn't have
Sending
liked?
this screenshot. I spread love
Yo,
and positive vibes.
that-
it don't even matter.
That moment when you realize you did it and you're like, oh, I can't take that back.
Like, I don't even matter. I ain't got no haters. I don't hate on nobody. I spread love, positive vibes. If we don't vibe together, I'm going to still wish you the best.
He'll double tap still.
I'll double tap.
All right. Would you rather teleport anywhere or read minds? I know what he's going to say.
Teleport anywhere.
I knew he was going to say that. He just doesn't want to be here. Okay.
I mean, I don't care what's in your mind, but that's private. You do your thing. I'm trying to see the world.
Which one do you prefer? Okay. And okay, which do you prefer? Friday nights or Monday mornings?
Friday nights.
And why?
We get that tequila popping.
And I'm laughing because Monday mornings for Miguel, if you follow him on Instagram and you watch his stories, Tuesdays are sometimes Mondays, Wednesdays are sometimes Mondays, Tuesdays are sometimes Fridays, and Wednesdays are sometimes Mondays. He mixes all the days up because of his Fridays.
Hey.
So I already knew that.
It all starts with Friday. It all starts with Friday.
So
it's all about balance.
His weeks start on a Friday, and then it's just uphill from there. We start downhill, and we go uphill from there.
I think life's a game. It's all downhill, baby. We're going down. We're enjoying it. We're enjoying the ride.
Listen, I strongly encourage everyone who's listening to watch this video because it's entertaining. Watch on YouTube. If you're looking for the YouTube, it's simply 818 and Conversate. But thank you to everyone who's already listening. Give them your personal Instagram and give them the website one more time so people know where to find you.
So the personal IG is Migz Pink, MIGZ-PINK. Yes, Pink is my last name.
Pink is his last name.
That's it. And the brand is Me Versus Me Mentality. So make sure you guys follow on IG.
And where can people, let's say somebody listening wants to pull up next Thursday. Where do they pull up?
Canoe Landing, 7:45 p.m.
In Toronto.
Downtown Toronto, in the heart of the city. That's
There's literally a canoe on a hill, so meet there.
Yeah, if you just type it in Google, you'll find it.
So episodes drop the 8th and the 18th of every month at 8:18 p.m. And this is episode number 8. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for
I had to wait
me.
a while to get him on here. And I feel like we're in the jungle because we have this nice background behind us.
Got the plants.
Yeah, we thought we were going to do this in the gym, but we went the greenery way. But Thank you so much for being on the episode. Please follow 818 and Conversate on all social platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. And if you like an episode, please share it with people because that's the community that I need to get more listeners. So thank you. This is the end of episode 8. Peace out.